Taoiseach, I wanted to specifically ask you about upcoming referendum and legislation. Two referendums have been announced, one on marriage equality and one on the presidential age. But amazingly, Taoiseach, none on the repeal of the 8th Amendment. And I just wanted to ask you, is that the Labour Party's view as well? Because the Taoiseach came in here last week. He said there would not be a referendum on the 8th Amendment, despite the horrific case that happened over Christmas, despite a court case today involving a migrant rape victim, where women are demeaned, used as vessels and incubators by the 8th Amendment. So can I just ask you, is it your view that women should be treated this way, or are you going to allow, which is meant to be Labour Party policy, a repeal of the 8th Amendment? And will you argue for that at Cabinet level, or have you also voted at Cabinet to exclude the 8th Amendment from upcoming referendums?
Taoiseach.
Well, I think the Deputy perhaps needs to think a little. The 8th Amendment, in my view, and this is on the public record, Deputy, over a long period of time, does not serve the best interests of women or indeed of the unborn child that a pregnant woman may be carrying. That's my considered view, and that's why when the 8th Amendment was put before the people, the Labour Party, then as now, said that the 8th Amendment was not in the best interests of women. Now, one of the reasons that the 8th Amendment has not served women well is that if you go back to the history of the times when the 8th Amendment was brought in and argued in this country, nobody would deny that it was a very rushed constitutional amendment. And the consequence of that rush was that what was put into our Constitution, as I've said, does not, in my view, or that of the Labour Party, serve the best interests of women. You seem, from what you're saying there now, to want to rush into a further situation in relation to the 8th Amendment without any serious consideration being given on a broad basis to what is in the best interests of women. You've referenced the Labour Party. Currently within the Labour Party, we have people working in the party, members, who are looking at the issues and examining all of the different issues which arise in this most delicate and difficult and important issue of women having children, and that they would have their children safely in a strongly supportive environment. If you want to rush into another amendment without even looking at what the best outcomes ought to be for women, well then that's not the approach of the Labour Party. And I think the kind of rhetoric that you're using does a disservice to women in Ireland. I think what we all want is the best outcomes for women who are pregnant and for their babies. That's my position. That's the position of the Labour Party. If you have a different position, that's your entitlement. But I think that this House should look to the best interests of women who are mothers, women who are expecting babies, and the best outcome for their children.
Deputy Creed, finally now. Deputy Michael Creed.
Count Corley, could I ask the Taoiseach if the government would consider making time available at the